Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to SportWorks Talks, another edition. Today with us we have Michal Buchel from the International SAMBO Federation. Good morning, Michal. How are you?
Good morning, Christian. Thank you very much. Very well. And welcome to everyone who is following us today early morning at SportWorks Talks.
It's great to have everyone with us. Thank you for all joining us. If you like, please use the chat. We'd love to know where you are. We know we reach out around the world, so please please say hello, and so we can see where people are from. That's great to see. What we're going to do, for those of you who've never been to a SportWorks Talks, we're going to have about a 20-minute presentation from Michal, and then at the end we're going to do some Q&A. So if you do have questions, please pop them in the chat. And we'll come to those towards the end of the presentation. And for now, I'm going to hand over to Michal. Enjoy.
Thank you very much, Christian. Thank you. So, very good morning, everyone. Before the presentation will be launched, we will speak today about how better governance can help to sports organization towards the IOC recognition, but also particularly about the journey of International SAMBO Federation towards the IOC recognition. And I would like to share with you this beautiful journey of 80 years old federation, and telling you a little bit of histories, not a lecture about what is the good governance and how exactly the good governance works, but I really would like to speak about our journey, and I would like to ask Christian to give us a little bit of introduction. What is the SAMBO in a little video?
Sambo is a modern martial art, a combat sport, and a self-defense system developed in the Soviet Union. Sambo has its roots in judo and traditional folk styles of wrestling, such as Armenian koch, Georgian chidauba, Moldovan trinta, Tatar korash, Uzbek kurash, Mongolian kapsagai, and Azerbaijani guyash. The word Sambo is an acronym meaning self-defense without weapons in Russian.
So as you see in the video, Sambo is quite technique and very extensive sports in dynamic sport. So a little bit about the background of the federations. We have about 90 member associations, which are those which has a right to vote. About 100 countries, 120 countries participating in the sports, and about 4.5 million practitioners around the world. The International SAMBO Federation is, from the governance perspective, is a member of the GAFES, which is the Global Association of International Sports Federation. It's a member of ARIFs, the recognized member federations, member of the Council of Europe, of the Consultative Committee, EPAS, and of course, as we are part of the DNA, has also the sustainability. We are members and partnering with the sports and sustainability. What is more important for us, we reached the IOC provisional recognitions in 2018 November in Tokyo session, in Tokyo Executive Board meeting, and we are very pleased for that because our journey to that was quite long. Also, we are recognized by, or we are compliant to WADA code. We are partnering and recognized with FISU, the university sports, with school sports, CISM, which is the military sports organization. And we are partnering also with the peace and sports for the different kind of activities, mostly towards sustainability and other projects, and for the sports for all as well, the TAFISA. Sambo as a sport was part of different kind of continental Olympic or the games. And firstly, we've been part of the Asian Games, Asian Indoor Martial Art Games, and later in 2015, first time in Baku in the European continent, and also in a Pan American and African continent. When we are talking about the Sambo itself, it was mentioned already that the Sambo is a self-defense without weapon. It's a unique mix of combat sports, and particularly I can say we even not very happy on that. Sambo, it's the mixed martial art before the mixed martial art. So the combat Sambo particularly, it's a very, very close to mixed martial art, which on our governance journey was a major task to convince the Olympic Committee that our sport is not violent and it's rather very peaceful. So the complexity of the sports, we are working from the very early age to the elite competitions and organizing about 44 events annually on behalf under the umbrella of International SAMBO Federation, but also with the other organizations like the university sports, school sports, military sport, etc. So this is about the Sambo in very specific topics about the presentation. Now, for the journey of the governance or the recognition towards IOC was very important to find and to provoke the IOC with the importance of universality. And we were doing a little bit of exercise inside house and also with the outside audience that we have to reach the wider audience, because the Sambo was very much focused in Russian former Soviet countries and the former Soviet bloc. So developed among of 25 countries across the Asia and Europe. But now we are really like followed by 190 plus countries through the social platforms. And for that exercise, we did a little bit of increased participation on digital streams and also on a linear stream. So as you can see from the figures, from 2016, the reach we increased from 2015 to 2016 for about 85%, and then later in 2017 it came to to almost another 85%, which give us in total from the years of 2015 to 2017, when we did this exercise with the IOC, for about 245% of increase of the viewership on our digital platforms. So this was a kind of very important tool for us, because when we were first time applying with the organization to the Olympic recognition, there were a couple of points which were say, you don't have the universality, you don't have the number of the participations in your event, you don't have the enough spread worldwide, and by this exercise we convinced the IOC at the end that we are largely recognized organization, and we are doing kind of good job in globally. So, Christian, I will ask you to play a video now about our participation of women in sport, please.
I look forward to getting on the mat and start the fight, just to know what's going to happen. And the first touch with the opponent is, well, when you shake hands, and that gives you an idea of what the fight's going to be like.
Soy profesora, también entrenadora, y en estos momentos de presidenta de la asociación. Estamos promoviendo el sambo. Realmente en mi país los resultados siempre son mayores en el femenino que en el masculino en estos deportes de combate.
It's rough, you have to push, you have to pull, you fall on your head and your back and all of that. I really think that the females are better fighters. The females have more fights to go on before the fight.
Female sambo coach can bring the understanding of the athlete that the male coach will never have. And in my elite team, there will be female and male, because number one, different technique, number two, different power.
Thank you, Christian. So this video was made particularly because we had also to increase the female participation, and as you know, the part of the governance exercise, it's also to increase the female participation in and to become a equal sport and giving the equal opportunity for both genders to participate in the sports. And by this exercise, we've been able to reach the wider community of Sambist and female practicing Sambist, and it increased about 17% of our before level. So this was also important because giving the glance and giving the opportunity for the females to express themselves give us the permission also to change and resettle the statutes, the governance documents, and increase the female representations within the executive committee, which was one of the key area that the IOC was taking care about. When we were talking before about the digital streaming and all visibility to sports, after 2017 and after 2015 to 2017 exercise, we had also the opportunity to open the discussions with the Olympic Channel, and we signed in 2018 the agreement with the Olympic Channel services to reinforce the visibility of our major events. And 2018, the World Championship was streamed online on the Olympic Channel platform, which gave us a great value of visibility for the through the Olympic movement, and we were very keen for that. 2019 it was repeating again, and we truly believe that in 2020 we will be able again to have live on the Olympic channels. So as you see, I talked about the principles of the universality and about the importance of growth of the federation. So since 2013, when I started to work for the International SAMBO Federation, we had to really restructure the organization in a way that more democratic principles, more transparency were allowed to the national federations, and the participation of the national federation also increased because we were able to develop and spread the sport around the globe. So today, more than 90 countries are participating in our World Championship. I really truly believe that in 2020 we will have higher number than in 2017 or 2018 or 2019. So a part of the very important exercise we did when we started the pathway to the Olympic recognition, and a part of the one of the very important guiding principles is sustainability. And if you know, so now the international sports federations, they are talking about it so often, and it's become a part of their activities. But we were, I can say that proudly, that we were one of the first federations which were really putting in front the sustainability development agenda 2030, or even we start before with the millennial goals of United Nations, and we were really doing this kind of exercise to promote the sustainable event with the three pillars: economical, social, and environmental. And through that, we also did a little bit of exercise with the kids. Did a little contest what would be the official mascot of the International Federation, and through that we aligned with the Amur Tiger Center, Amur Tiger Foundation, which is our contribution to habitat, to the world habitat. So we are really working closely towards the implementation of the sustainability goals of our federation. Enlarge, the name of the topic, it's how better governance can help to the federation towards the IOC recognition. It's again. We know that there were many different situations, very difficult scandals since 1996, Atlanta, Salt Lake City with the IOC. So IOC put to prepare the plans of the for the recognitions, in terms that there are settled criteria, and these criteria you have to obey or you have to respect, then you will be recognized. So one of those criteria was democracy, transparency, accountability. So everything what we were doing after 2013. So we were trying to put all our accounts, the audits on the website, that everybody can see what is the asset of the federation, how we are dealing with the money, and so on. We are working with the external auditors on our financial situation as well. So it's really very important. So then afterwards, sport and development and solidarity, it's a part of the sustainability development as well. So these are those things which we are saying it's important for International Sports Federation to carrying on and to bring further, because when all the scandals and all the things which were lately in the sports are main articles of the media, sport itself, it's in danger, and we are trying to do something better. So to showcase that the sport is not only the other side, which are taken on mostly through the media, but also the good side. And we are trying to build this visibility through the good projects, through valuable projects, and trying to build something which is very much reliable to our DNA. So the sustainability event guidelines can give to our organizing committees exact pathway how they can build their organizing committee in a way that will provide them the better asset and better tool to organize the events from the economic, social, environmental perspectives, from different kind of goals that they can use. They can build the volunteers, the base, use as many as possible different activities for the volunteers, and save money at the end of the day for their event. So when you see that the approach is you can save some money because you are doing good actions through your events. So the organizing committees are much more happy with your proposals. They are keen to accept them, and therefore they are going to focus on the same elements as the International Federation, and this is the key tool for us. So I would say we are quite happy that we were able to reach the IOC recognition, but it's not the end of the story. That's only the beginning of the story, because provisional recognition for 3 years, it's guaranteeing you that you can benefit from the Olympic system, and you can benefit from the Olympic values, and you can use on a certain level the visibility of the Olympic movement. But also it's a huge responsibility. It's a huge responsibility because you have to obey those rules. You have to build better engagement with your fans. You have to build better engagement with your national federations, that they are really following your approach. They are really convinced that the approach which you are doing it's quite important. So we would say that these 3 years from 2018 to 2021 for us it will be or it is kind of very important exercise. And again, the Global Association of the International Sports Federation 2 years ago launched the self-evaluation of the best of the good governance principles, and through that anonymous survey that they did, each federation we were able to receive their own evaluation, and also we were able to find in the scale of where we are among the other members of ARIFs. And we were quite happy with the results, but again, we cannot stay and sleep until the end of the days. We have to work, we have to contribute, we have to change other things, and we will have the Congress 2021, which will be the most important, the electoral one, and through that Congress we will need to really bring up some new important tools that will also reinforce the stability of the governance, the principle, the transparency, and the first and foremost, the integrity and the accountability of the organization. So I will finish here and I thank you very much for your attention. If you have any question, you can you please don't hesitate to ask, and you can follow our work on our social media, on our website. Thank you very much.
Michal, great presentation. Thank you. I'm always moved by how great it is to hear and learn about the journeys of different federations. Your 7-year journey with Sambo, especially to achieve the recognition and by the IOC as a recognized organization, is an amazing piece of work. And as you said just there at the end, a lot of hard work. It doesn't stop once you get that recognition. It doesn't stop when you become a federation. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Amazing, wonderful achievement, and wonderful what you're contributing. When I see the notes that I've taken here about your presentation, it is a holistic approach. It isn't just about the, sport is at the core, but it is a holistic approach, and it's wonderful to learn more about these journeys. So thank you very much for sharing all these, your insight, and, your journey, the Sambo journey.
Thank you very much.
It's great. So a couple of questions. As I say to everybody, please pop them in the chat. We'll do our best to answer them as we go through. So first question here from Marius Visa. So why did you have a decrease of NFs in some years?
So it will be nice if we have always the increase of the participation, but unfortunately there are some factors which are always unpredictable. They always need to be taken in consideration, and the first of them is location. So when you have we try to organize our events in different countries, in different continents. We don't want to go, and because the Sambo, it's, let's say, the heritage of Russia or the Soviet, it will be easy for us to organize every year the event in Moscow or in St. Petersburg or in Kazan or whatever cities in Russia, Sochi, because they have facilities, they have knowledge, they have everything what we need. But this is not one of the principles of the universality. So we have to attempt it also to organize the events in countries where the Sambo is not at the spot. We are competing with the other sports that they are there, and it's also affecting the national federation, because when they are traveling, they have to take and bear the cost of their teams. So for some of the federations, we have put in force the financial help program. We are helping them to attend the events whenever it's possible, particularly for the World Championship. But overall, it is very difficult. We cannot be considered as a travel agent that we are giving the national federations the tickets and please travel around the world and join our events. This is not a sustainable approach, and we have to be sustainable in our financial asset, in our contribution, and in the building the national federation development as well. So decrease, it's not taken as a failure. It's an indicator of the participation, but I would say that it's also because the circumstances were not really favorable for all the NSF to participate in the events, or some national federations, they have the athletes which withdraw in the very last moment because they have been injured or whatever during the practice or beforehand in other competitions. So there are many factors which are giving these indicators.
Okay. So there's a good follow-up question here. So how do you sustain the NFs? And you led into that a little bit with how you support them with financially, but also developing a sustainable model for the NFs.
So, this is a very good question, but it's also a very expensive question in terms of sharing. So we have developed the program for national federations. They can go and apply for different kind of projects, and we are trying to build their clubs. We are helping them with the equipment. We are helping them to some federation with the participation, but we are helping them also to increase the visibility and giving them the possibilities to express themselves. So particularly if you're taking into consideration that the athletes representation, it's so large, it's so wide. So we taking most importantly, our athletes as the core of the business. We are giving them the most importance in our tool. So this is also for the National Federation a huge opportunity to liaise and to build the relations with the International Federation. So that's how we are working with the National Federation Enlarged.
Okay, great. A lot of work, as you said, piecing it all together. But as you say, it's a holistic approach. Thanks for those questions, Marius. Question here now from David Johnson. Is Olympic Games participation the ultimate aim for Sambo?
Thank you, David, for the question. If you will help us with that, we will be very happy. But being serious, of course, every sport would like to be a part of that, of the biggest event. But we have to be also reasonable. We have to be also very much humble. And I think to set the goals to be a part of the Olympic sports program, it's not impossible, but we will have a long journey to go there. It's not like just from the historical perspective. Maybe if in 1980, when the Moscow Games were held, the Soviets will introduce the Sambo into the sports program of the Olympic Games that time, we will not have discussed this kind of discussions. But they prefer to do different kind of political actions, and Sambo was not the most important for them to share. So I would say it's very tricky questions. We would love to be there, but we know that we have to be very humble and to work hard towards that goal. And we are through the continental games participation. Hopefully, one day we will be able to reach that. Maybe on the level of the Youth Olympic Games, it will be the first step and better step to follow.
Yeah.
To focus.
I mean, when you look at the journey you've had over the last 7 years, it's been quite an amazing trajectory, actually. Because I mean, we first worked together in Kazan, where Sambo was introduced for the first time into the FISU program. Yeah. So to have it in university sports, so for those who are not aware, FISU is the Federation of International University Sports. And that was hosted in Kazan in 2013. So quite an achievement from that journey and the stepping stones that you're taking, a representative of the journey you're on. So it's great.
Yeah, exactly.
So another good question here from Rohit. How do you think sustainability will evolve for the Federation of Sambo post the crisis? Good question.
Crystal ball, and we can discuss about it in a very hypothetical way, because we don't know exactly when this crisis will finish, and we don't know how it will be, how severe the impact on the sports federation in large it will be. But we are working very focused on post-crisis bump into the events. So the first thing is we need to absolutely take care about the health of our athletes. I had yesterday the discussion with the Olympic Committee, and we will do many of the other federations, the guidelines for the athletes, how they can participate in the events. But I think the sustainability as in large will be a key factor for the federation. If you have a good sustainability plan, if you have a good sustainability development program, you can not only play with your national federation and work with your national federation on your events, but you can go directly to the cities which will be desperately looking for the events. And if you are propose them something which is very much targeted, very much oriented on their revenues as the first and foremost, so then we can convince other organizations also and be and look at the opportunity how we can increase the then I see it as an opportunity for us, and we hopefully will be taking from a good position.
It's great to be seeing, as you say, glass is half full. the positive spin. And I get back to your strategy, the holistic approach of sustainability, not just about recycling. It is a holistic approach to sustainability of sport has been really key. So that's a great insight, great awareness. Thanks for that question, Rohit. Another question here from Christian Vassmer. What are your measures to increase the number of your NFs recognized by their respective NOCs? Quite a specific question.
Very specific question from someone who knows very well the answer. Christian, thank you very much for this. Not Christian, but Christian. Thank you very much for this beautiful question. You know very much about the function and structure of the National Olympic Committees. The recognition of the IOC does not really guarantee to the International Federation that the national level organizations will be immediately recognized by the National Olympic Committees. But we are working, and that's the key element for us. We are working through the continental associations with the Asian, African, European Olympic Committees, Pan American Olympic Committees, to increase the possibilities of participation in a continental level. So when we have the opportunities to participate in a continental level, all those organizations which are members of that National Olympic Committees have the possibilities to participate in this event. So this increase dramatically the number of the national federations recognized by the Olympic movement. One of the criteria for the guys is that we have to have about 44 national Olympic committees recognize Sambo as a sport. So we reached that level. We are now above 60, 65, and some of the organization, until we will not be in a program of the Olympic Games, will not recognize the Sambo as a sport on the National Olympic Committee level. But we hope and we truly believe that once we will be recognized on the continental level, this federation will happen. And this is how we are helping them to gain their recognition on the national level.
Great. I mean, again, your great insights into the processes. The journey you've been on, you mentioned quite a lot in your presentation about the support you got from GEIS. Obviously, they're the leading body. In terms of an up-and-coming federation, was there a good source of information to help you evolve your strategy?
50-50. Yes and no. GEIS has too many members and they cannot really focus on one. But through their leadership and also in the past, there were very important people which play a very important role in the global association of the International Sports Federation, and they help us really to open the doors which were locked. So we have to be grateful for that help they gave us. Unfortunately, we know what happened, and I will stop here.
Okay, well, it's an evolutionary thing. So one of the other things you highlighted in your presentation was the amazing growth in your social media strategy. So you grew from, you had a 240% increase in your followings and your followers. So obviously that forms a key part of the how you explain to the IOC or demonstrate. So I guess, again, how did you formulate that? Was that something you internalized as a function to develop that strategy? Or was it something?
So in terms of visibility, we were looking for the approach that we knew that for most of the small international sports organizations to be visible on the linear platforms, media, television, it's very difficult and it's very costly.
Yep.
The airtime, it's quite expensive, and we are not the football, we are not basketball, the ice hockey or other sports, so we can compete with them with attractiveness, but we need to reach the point when we will be able to position us in a way that we will be receiving the money rather than paying. So for broadcasting, like the IOC, they are selling their rights and so on, or the other organization, they are selling their rights. We are not at that stage. So we said, how we will be, what will be the best strategy for us to implement? when we go to increase the visibility of the International Sports Federation. So we settled the marketing media commission with the executives and everything, like usually brainstorm, working on what should be the strategy, putting forward all these elements, and then we find out that the best thing how we can do it, we will build in-house the organization, the structure, which will televise and broadcast the events. We'll be able to put them on a platform which will be sustainable, which will be suitable for us, embedded for the website, for all our social media, for the YouTube, and creating the channels which give us the additional visibility and which give us the opportunity to focus on increased visibility of Sambo worldwide. So this is how we work, and this is how we settle the strategy, and I think it works quite well so far. Now the turning point is how to assess that in a way that we will be able to sell it, and we will be able to marketize it in a way that we will receive a revenue stream from our broadcast.
It's great. I mean, I think to me, digital strategy forms the core of the growth, especially the viewership. I've done a lot of studies, and I think it's a great achievement that you've been able to grow that so dramatically. So the question here from, sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, Pasio. You said it would be easy for you to organize championships always in Russia, but you want to go to other countries and regions too. How do you find the organizers there? And do you approach them, or do NFs or continental federations approach you with candidates?
Thank you very much, Pasi, for your question. It's both approach. We obviously looking through the national federations the opportunity to organize the events worldwide, but of course also we are participating in different kind of events which are organized worldwide and give us the opportunity to increase our visibility and recognition, and going directly also to the host cities, or to attending the conferences where we can liaise directly with the municipalities. It's also a kind of approach that we are doing, but of course everything needs to be done in a very transparent way. So we have the open of the bidding for the events 3 years before the events are approved, and then through the period of time we are trying to find out the best solution for our athletes and to find out the best place, also taking in a continental and locations in the mind. Okay.
That's great. Hopefully that helps you understand better, Basil. Last question I think we've got time for today is from Abel. Martial arts and combat sports are a big group of sports. Sport Accord on past, and you guys said we must look carefully to application of these sports to top institutions. What insights and views do you have on the institutional development of martial arts and combat sports? Complex question.
I cannot answer the question on behalf of GAFES because they have the criteria which are visible and available on the website of the organization. But when we are taking and breaking down the questions, what is my view of the institutional development of martial art and combat sports? I would say it's the combat sports. I'm not the combat sports and martial artist. I was the ice hockey player in the past, and my journey as a sports administration, it's also the multi-sport games and Sambo. It's a kind of accident, but very good accident for me. And learning from multi-sport game organization, particularly with the taekwondo, wrestling, judo, and participating on this event in the landscape of the multi-sport games gave me also the opportunity to learn the values of the martial art and combat sports. And this is, I think, something which is very important. The value of the combat sport and martial arts as an insight, it's absolutely tremendous. Building the resilience, building the consistency, building the asset of the values that the martial arts are giving. It's something which is unique among of the other sports, and it's large practice by the different kind of communities. If you say how many people are practicing karate, how many people are practicing judo, how many people are now turning into mixed martial arts, and so on. the core of the martial arts, it's very, very important value. So I'm not very much afraid about the future of the martial arts, and institution from the development of the sport. I think it's going to be increased, and it's one of the factors which was also shown by the PricewaterhouseCoopers recent or 2 years old survey, that the martial arts are the only sports which are still increasing, alongside with the esports or e-gaming in some way. What will be the factor of development of the martial arts post-crisis, post-COVID crisis? I don't know. Martial arts required very much the physical contact, and if this will be still an issue, the martial arts will have to find out a way. But again, you are teaching the values, you are teaching the humanities, you are teaching kindness and other things, and this is very important in large.
As you said, and you highlighted in your presentation, that holistic approach to every part of the development of the sport has to be maintained. So, a great example of that. Institutional is a component of that.
Yep.
So I want to say thank you, Michal. Wonderful presentation, really insightful. Great to have your insights and to share your journey. I think it's quite unique to have this opportunity to really see what that journey is, how the governance and how it's been for you for the last 7 to 8 years now. Really grateful for you to share that today. And I want to say thank you also to our audience. Thanks you for all participating. Although I think we've got a question. Yes, we've got
Yes.
a prize giveaway.
When I talk about the mascot, this is our mascot, Amur Tiger. And for those which are able to answer the question where the next World Championship for the senior competition, the adult competitions, will be held, and we'll type the name of the city and the country in the chat, we'll receive from Christian and from us this little present afterwards. So the question is where the 2020 World Championship of Sambo will be held.
Go.
Let's see if there are brave people. Many people say thank you, but not the answer yet.
Not the answer yet. People, I'm guessing people are kind of like me. I gotta be honest. I gotta look it up.
Google.
Google, guys.
Google.
First one to put the answer into the chat were the 2020 championships. Turkmenistan, Rohit.
Yes, Rohit. Okay.
Congratulations. You've now got the mascots on its way to you.
And Ashgabat. So should bring two mascots because the Christine also answered in a good way. So we will liaise with Christine and Rohit and give them one will receive the mascot, somebody else will receive something else from us. So thank you very much for your attention. Wishing you a beautiful day and for this opportunity, Christian, for the work.
Absolute pleasure. Great to have you. And thank you, everybody, for joining. Just a quick replay. The replay will be available on YouTube via sportworker.com, and we'll send the links out to all the participants who are able to join us today. Michal, thanks again, and everyone for joining us. Have a great day. Stay safe,
Thank you.
Stay healthy, and all the very best. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you.